Where is my gracious Lord of Canterbury? Send for him, good uncle. Not yet, my dear cousin. We would be resolved before we hear him of some things of weight that task our thoughts concerning us and France. Sir, we thank you. My learned lord, we pray you to proceed and justly and religiously unfold why the law salique that they have in France, or should not bar us in our claim, and God forbid, my dear and faithful lord, that you should fashion rest, or bow your reading, or nicely charge your understanding soul with opening titles miscreate, whose right suits not in native colours with the truth. For God doth know how many now in health shall drop their blood in approbation of what your reverence shall incite us to. Therefore take heed how you impugn our person, how you awake our sleeping sword of war. We charge you in the name of God, take heed, for never two such kingdoms did contend without much fall of blood, whose guiltless drops are every one a woe, a sore complaint against him whose wrong gives edge unto the swords that make such waste in brief mortality. Under this conjuration speak, my lord, for we will hear, note, and believe in heart that what you speak is in your conscience, washed as pure as sin with baptism. May I with right and conscience make this claim? We must not only arm to invade the French, but lay down our proportions to defend against the Scot, who will make road upon us with all advantages. We do not mean the coursing snatchers only, but fear the main intendment of the Scot, who hath been still a giddy neighbour to us. For you shall read that my great-grandfather never went with his forces into France, but that the Scot, on his unfurnished kingdom, came pouring like the tide into the breach, with ample and brimfulness of his force, galling the gleaned land with hot assays, girding with grievous siege castles and towns, that England, being empty of defence, hath shook and trembled at the ill neighbourhood. Call in the messengers sent from the Dauphin. Now are we well resolved, and by God's help and yours, the noble sinews of our power, France being ours, we'll bend it all to awe, or break it all to pieces. Or there will sit, ruling in large and ample empery o'er France and all her almost kingly dukedoms, or lay these bones in an unworthy urn, tombless, with no remembrance over them. Either our history shall with full mouth speak freely of our acts, or else our grave, like Turkish mute, shall have a tongueless mouth, not worshipped with a waxen epitaph. Now are we well prepared to know the pleasure of our fair cousin Dauphin, for we hear your greeting is from him, not from the king. We are no tyrant, but a Christian king, unto whose dross our passion is as subject as are our wretches fettered in our prisons. Therefore, with frank and with uncurbed plainness, tell us the Dauphin's mind. Oh, what treasure, uncle! We are glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His presence in your pains we thank you for. When we have marched our rackets to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set. Shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Tell him he hath made a match. Tell him he hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts in France will be disturbed with chases, and we understand him well, how he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them, we never valued this poor seat of England, and therefore living hence did give ourselves to barbarous license, as 'tis ever common that men are merriest when they are from home. But tell the Dauphin I will keep my state, be like a king, and show my sail of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. For that I have laid by my majesty and plodded like a man for working days, but I will rise there with so full a glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France. For that I have laid by my majesty and plodded like a man for working days, yea, strike the Dauphin blind to look on us. And tell the pleasant prince the mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones, and his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For many 1,000 widows shall this his mock out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down. And some are yet ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. But this lies all within the will of God, to whom I do appeal, and in whose name tell you the Dauphin I am coming on, to venge me as I may, and to put forth my rightful hand in a well-hollowed cause. So get you hence in peace, and tell the Dauphin his jest will savour but of shallow wit, when thousands weep more than did laugh at it. Convey them with safe conduct. Fare you well. We hope to make the sender blush at it. Therefore, my lords, omit no happy hour that may give furtherance to our expedition, for we have now no thought in us but France, save those to God that run before our business. Therefore let our proportions for these wars be soon collected, in all things thought upon, that may with reasonable swiftness add more feathers to our wings. For God before will chide this Dauphin at his father's door. Therefore let every man now task his thought, that this fair action may on foot be brought.